Imagine a life where you're considered equal, but you get paid less than your coworkers. You are a minority in your field of profession. You have to pay more money for basic household items like shampoo, deodorant, and razors. According to Hollander and Komanibo, this is the life of a woman. On September 5th, 1995, Hillary Clinton spoke about these challenges women face and encouraged action to achieve equality during the Fourth World Women Conference in Beijing, China. During this time, Hillary has been a well-known politician advocating for women and children, and the wife of President Bill Clinton. The speech, Women's Rights Are Human Rights, by Hillary Clinton is a fitting response to the rhetorical situation. I will discuss how the time period, the occasion, the audience, Hillary's credibility, and examples used to achieve pathos all aid in the speech's success. Women have experienced gender inequality for years. After fighting for equality since the beginning of the women's rights movement in 1848, women have made great strides towards equality. In 1920, women were first given the right to vote in America. That was only 100 years ago. In the 1950s and prior, women were still experiencing inequality in the workplace. They were made to be a housewife and get married at an early age. It was started to be seen in the 1960s that this began to change. According to WIC editors, in 1984, 30% more women had undergraduate degrees than in the 1920s. There was also a 20% increase of women lawyers and judges and a 7.5% increase in women engineers by 1989. There were many events that served as stepping stones of achieving women's equality, including the speech delivered by Clinton during the conference in Beijing. According to Valerie Hudson, it became a key moment in the empowerment of women, and years later, women around the world would recite Clinton's key phrases, one of which are, "Women's rights are human rights." I am now going to talk about how Hillary Clinton turned the constraints presented by the occasion and audience into an opportunity. At this conference, she was expected to talk about women, specifically women's rights. The conference was attended by representatives of 189 governments, UN agencies, intergovernmental organizations, as well as activists and organizations from across the world. There were 17,000 participants, with a further 30,000 activists attending a parallel forum according to the UN Women editors. Since women and men were in the audience, she had to take both genders into consideration. The audience was also filled with different ages, they had different occupations, and were from different countries. Due to the differences within the audience, it presented Clinton with a challenge on how she was going to address everyone in the audience. However, she did it well by using ethos and pathos appeals throughout her speech. The audience's interpretation is greatly affected by the author's established or lack of credibility. In order to strengthen the message conveyed in the speech, Clinton establishes her credibility in many ways. The first way is through explaining that she has worked with women and children all around the world for 25 years. She emphasizes this claim by repeating, "I have met," to highlight the vast experience she has had. She not only talks about her past experience, but her future plans as well, by saying, and I quote, "Earlier today, I participated in a World Health Organization forum. Tomorrow, I will attend a gathering of the United Nations Development Fund for Women." This shows that she has fought for women's rights and is continuing to do so. People are most likely to listen to her due to the experiences she has had and made clear in her speech. Clinton repeatedly states claims and examples that appeal to pathos. While she doesn't provide evidence for them in her speech, there are sources that have supported some of the claims made. The examples that she uses highlight the severity and the presence of women injustice throughout the world. The first example used, and I quote, "Even now, in the late 20th century, the rape of women continues to be used as an instrument of armed conflict." She uses pathos for this statement because rape is a very emotional subject and isn't talked about much, especially publicly. Planty and Langton support this claim by saying about 556,000 women who were 12 or older were victims of sexual assault in 1995, which is the year Clinton presented the speech. The second example is women and children make up a large majority of the world's refugees. UNHCR confirms this statement. This uses the pathos appeal because talking about refugees and the hardships they experience is also a tough topic to talk about and isn't talked about much, just like rape. The speech also includes claims that appeal to logos and pathos that appeals to all of the audience. She explains that this issue affects everyone too. The first claim that is used is, families flourish, which leads to nations flourishing. This introduces the idea that this is an issue for everyone, not just women. This uses a pathos appeal because she mentions the words family, which everyone in the audience can relate to and everyone associates with love. She then repeats it's a violation of human rights to emphasize the fact that this is an important issue that is being addressed and is prevalent throughout the world. She uses pathos because everyone is a human, and this statement is something that everyone who is male or female can relate to. Everyone needs to realize this issue and invest their time into understanding it and voicing their opinions on this inequality. When the world starts to work together as one, women's equality will be resolved and the world will be a better place. Women have been facing inequality for hundreds of years. This needs to be solved immediately because it impacts everyone. Children, husbands, families, neighbors, nations, and the world. Through writing and delivering the speech, Hillary wanted her diverse audience to know that it is time to act on behalf of women everywhere. And I quote, "Let this be our and the world's call to action, and let us heed the call so that we create a world in which every woman is treated with respect and dignity, every boy and girl is loved and cared for equally, and every family has the hope of a strong and stable future." Thank you.